Hey guys, Sundown here. This is gonna be my chapter review to One Piece 954, like giving wings to a dragon, which essentially means uh, icing on the cake, adding fuel to a fire, making something stronger than it was before, or worse than it was before. And by the end of this chapter, you can kind of figure out what that is. The cover story is interesting. We see Gang Beige and his crew they can't pass over the red line because of the ongoing reverie. You see all these different ships in the distance, maybe even some cannon fire being directed towards Gang Beige's ship, but they can't pass over the red line to get to wherever they wanted to go. So I think they wanted to go to Thriller Bark, and they can't really make their way there. So moving onwards and forwards, the first thing we see is we're back in Ringo. 7 days left until the raid on Onigashima. Excuse me. And the samurai have managed to obtain a large supply of weapons. And we have Kawamatsu here just objecting to Hiyori giving Zoro or trying to give Zoro the blade Enma. And we find out here that her father, or Momonosuke's father, the previous shogun, Kozuki Oden, was a swordsman who used the dual long blade style, which is quite unique. He had two long blades, and he would use both of them at the same damn time, which is, if I saw someone coming like that, towards me, I'd be like, I don't know, I don't really want to fight this guy. But before his execution, he entrusted a blade each to his children. His Enma blade was given to Hiyori, and his other long blade, which is known as Ame no Habakiri. And I thought Ame no meant something like rain, something something, but apparently it doesn't. So Ame no Habakiri, which is translated as the snake slayer of Takamagahara, and it is said to be one of Susanoo's swords. Susanoo being the lord, or the I think it's the god of the storm in Japanese mythology. Let me just check that real quick. Oh my god, how many names? Shinto god of the sea and storms. Yeah, and in Japanese mythology, he's meant to be the guy that the god that slew the Yamata no Orochi. Orochi being that many-headed beast, serpent thing, and that's what Susanoo is kind of his legendary blade was meant. That's where the story kind of comes from. So Momonosuke holds that blade, and Hiyori holds Enma. So once again, Kawamatsu is like he's like, no, 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 we can't be giving this blade over to this guy. We don't know who he is. He has unknown origins, and the fact that Kawamatsu here is bringing up the fact that Zoro has unknown origins, and I think he brings it up twice, suggests that maybe Zoro has an origin which later on Kawamatsu will be okay with, and all the other samurai will be okay with. And people already mentioned it last time. I think it was the Shimotsuki family that Zoro may be descended from. I think that might come to play in the story because of this kind of dialogue of Zoro has unknown origins. Hiyori tells us about how there were the swords were forged by two famous blacksmiths. So one sword had one blacksmith each, and they have honorable origins and all that stuff. And she goes on to say, we don't know how you got Shisui. Zoro knows exactly how he got Shisui. He's like, I'm pretty sure Maria stole it, and like he got it from like the shadow of Maria, the ghost of Maria, essentially, the ghost of Ryuma, sorry, and she wants it returned because it's a sacred treasure to Japan, to Wano. Zoro's totally okay with this. He's like, yeah, if you're gonna give me a replacement, then I guess I'm fine with it. Which I was surprised by. I thought he really liked Shisui, but he does then go on to say, I did get to know Ryuma when we crossed swords. If it's okay with you guys, I'll give you the sword back, but at least let me visit his grave afterwards. Obviously, Kawamatsu's like, yo, this guy's delusional. How could you have ever fought Ryuma? The guy died centuries ago. We then go to the flower capital. This I was completely shocked by. So we go to the samurai imprisoned in the Rosetsu district, so this prison district, uh, actually this prison part of the Rosetsu district, and we see here that Law has somehow fought against Hawkins. He's triumphed. They're both bleeding, but Hawkins definitely looks worse for wear. And here it's where sorry, Law asks I've got something against Kid today, but Law asks Apu, oh my God, Law asks Hawkins. He's like, dude, what the hell happened between Kid, Apu, and yourself? What happened to the pirate alliance between you guys? So it turns out, and also one of the first things I noticed is that Hawkins has been cut in. He's been cut in two at the waist. One of his hands has been cut off. Not like so he's bleeding out, but due to Law's devil fruit. But it turns out that Hawkins and Kid were both set up by Scratchman Apu, who was working under Kaido at the time. and he still is working under Kaido. And Kaido has this thing where he was like, if you want to become my subordinates, then I'll welcome you with open arms. And he's been recruiting strong soldiers, all that stuff. But Apu, I mean, I can't say his name, man. Hawkins is one of those guys where he instantly looked to see what his chance of victory was. It was at 0%. His chance of escape 0%. But if he submitted to survive, essentially, which I think is what that means, he had a 40% chance of survival. So looking at the books, he was just like, I got no choice. I gotta submit. But Kid and Killer, being the two types of characters they are, fought him head on. Both got wrecked, and the issue with Kaido is that he doesn't kill his enemy. What he does is he'll break their spirits until they become subservient to him, which is what he tried to do with both Kid and Killer. We know the state of Kid and Killer at the moment, but Hawkins doesn't, so he's there thinking, yeah, I can't imagine Kid bending the knee, so he's probably dead. As for the rest of his crew, they've probably been fed the information of, if you want to save your captain, go do this, go do this. Basically, they've become slaves to the system while trying to save their captain. Hawkins is just there like, you're doing pretty well with your alliance with Straw Hat right now, but how do you feel about it? Have you changed your mind? Essentially, what I think he's trying to say is like, can you guys really hold out with your alliance? Do you think you're gonna get out of it alive? I think you're gonna turn your backs on each other and all that stuff. Then we see a slash, and it's none of your concern, making us think that Law killed Hawkins, but I don't think that's the case at all. Hawkins has probably just been separated into a few different parts, and um, maybe even part of some sort of master plan that Law is hoping to hatch later on. We then see the person who essentially freed Law, and he tells him, if this is some part of your grand plan or something like that, then I'll go along with it. 6 days left until the raid on Onigashima. Um, and I have no idea who this guy could be. It could be Denjiro, but I doubt it. I have no idea who this person could be who freed Law. Let me know what you guys think about that. This is a really short chapter, by the way. It goes only up to 14 pages, but I'm already at like 7 minutes. So then we go to the Udon prison, where we have old man Hyogoro once again training up Luffy, telling him like how to use this new form of haki, or Busoshoku no haki, and he's saying, he's really really like drilling Luffy. He's like, remember your defeat, think of everything you were unable to do, all the things that you weren't even able to touch Kaido in a way that hurt him. Time is running out. You're fighting against a monster. What can you do? So Luffy's really punishing this giant steel mattress kind of thing, and just training up with 5 days left until the raid on Onigashima. We then go to the Kuri Amagasa village. Well, we go to Kuri Amigasa village. This is where we see Kinemon, and he's relaying the updated symbol to everyone else, to all the allies around Wano. So this is the symbol of the Habu snake with the two lines going across it now. So it's Yasui's final message essentially, and we see everyone across Wano. So these were the guys that were partnered with Hyogoro, all of his previous like commanders. In Port Itachi, we see one of the guys there. He's like, two lines, I understand. That's where Frankie's souping up all the ships and essentially revitalizing them. We then see Hyogoro in Udon. He's with his weapon preparation squad. He's like, two lines, he understands. We see in Ringo the sword recovery squad, and the lady there, she's like, yep, okay, she understands it. And the same for the Kibi guys with the Rebel Commander squad. So everyone understood the message. Nami asks how they understood it. Like, she's amazed by it. Kinemon explains very simply. He's like, you need to know all the names of the ports in Wano. At first we drew a snake, which signified the port Habu, which I think translates to snake, even though I thought that was Hebi. And so that's where everyone assumed they would meet. But now that there are two pairs of legs on the snake, you can count it as a lizard. So that would definitely be like Port Tokage, which is what everyone else has gained from this symbol. And Tokage meaning either shadow, apparently, or lizard. Thank you to J Mini's box. And yeah, I think that's a pretty cool way to like get the message across. The snake has now become a lizard. Port Habu has now become Port Tokage. That's where we're gonna meet. So this was Yasui's kind of final dying message. Obviously, Robin is impressed by this, but the samurai they all feel that kind of debt. They have to make this work, otherwise it's going to be like their greatest shame that they couldn't, even with Yasui's kind of dying breath, save Wano. So everybody's there with like, I don't know how many days are left at this point actually. So this would have been with like 5 or 4 days left. Um, everybody's there. You see Brook there. You see Zoro there, actually, at this Amigasa village. Nami, Robin, Sanji, Okiku. You see Raizo, Kanjuro. You see Old Man, Tengu guy. You see Ashura Doji, Inuarashi. Everyone's there. The only person I couldn't actually see, well, the few people I couldn't see were um, obviously Hyogoro and his squad, so Luffy. But if Zoro's there, I couldn't see, and Kawamatsu are there. I can't see Hiyori, and I thought Hiyori and like meeting Momonosuke would be a big thing. So they begin their strategy meeting, and they're about to kick some ass. So here it's where we find out that, well, a sudden revelation. We find out that there are two ways to enter Wano. One is through the carp, attaching a carp to your ship and having it pull you up the waterfall. The second method is to enter a cave behind a waterfall by the permission of either Orochi or Kaido. And this is Port Mogura. I think it's known as Port Mole. You can see why, because it's a tunnel. And at the end of this port, or at the end of this cave, there's kind of this gondola. I think it's how it's pronounced, and that will essentially um, pull people up, pull a ship up right towards the top, where they essentially have entered Wano. And we see a ship doing this as it's being explained, and we instantly see who it is. Kaido's like, "Yo, have you come back to attend the banquet?" We see that it's Scratchman Apu. He's here to attend the banquet because he wants to see the ceremonial art or ritual where maidens perform sacred music and dance to communicate with the gods. So he's kind of a lecherous guy. Um, but he's there with his crew, and they're all like ready for this ceremony, ready for this festival. But we see two kids there, and this is in the middle of, I think, Hakumai, and they see these things, these shadows in the fog, and they're just like, "What is it?" It's a number from Onigashima. So they refer to these things as numbers. I was like really confused like that. I was like, "What the hell's a number?" I thought it might have been a mistranslation, but then we go to the next page, so page 13, and we see King talking to Queen, and he's like, "It seems like the numbers have returned." And I was like, "What the hell is a number, dude? Like, tell me what the hell a number is." And Queen says straight away, he's sweating a little bit. He's like shocked. He's like, they're attending the banquet. They've all got drinking problems, so I hate having them around. Scroll down a bit, and you see what these numbers are. These are giant, like quite literally giant demons. Essentially, they ones like they look like Onis. Um, Very Kaido-esque. One of them's carrying a club, is a silhouette in the fog. One of them's got two long horns. They've all got horns of some sort, but they look like very, very typical, classical Japanese onis in like all of the classic like arts that I've seen anyway, and classic stories that I've seen. This is how they're typically drawn, I think. So I was surprised. I was like, what the hell are these? Are these devil fruit users? Are these actual demons? Are these like descendants of ores and all that type of stuff? What the hell are these? They're referred to as numbers, and there seem to be a few of them at the least. But what the hell are they? Are they above King and Queen? Like, I doubt that. I think they must be beneath King and Queen. But the fact that Queen has an issue with them being around suggests that these guys are, when they're drunk at the least, they might be an issue. They might be really powerful. They look really powerful. So I'm not sure who they are, where they come from, what they can do, but they seem to be quite beasty. Then we come to the last half page on of this chapter, and we see Kaido and Big Mom acting real friendly. They're saying the banquet on the night of the Fire Festival is going to be awesome. It's going to be cool. And this is where they announce the Beast Pirates and the Big Mom Pirates have decided to form a pirate alliance in order to take over the world together. And once they've taken over the world together, they're gonna resume killing each other. One Piece is on break next week, but what a freaking alliance! This is like this is from bad to worse. Like, we have now two Yonko against possibly Luffy, Law, Kid, Hawkins if he turns. I don't think Scratchman Apu deserves another chance. He should just get decimated by the rest of the supernovas. And then we have Wano tied into these guys. We have some of the minks. This is going to be a bloodbath. I mean, like, this is an all star kind of war here. We have two Yonko against like four supernova essentially. Was it four? Luffy, Law, uh, it was Kid, and why I'm hoping it's Hawkins. But actually, it's not going to be just before. It's going to be Killer as well, hopefully, and Zoro, who are both supernova as well, I think. But it's going to be insane. I'm not sure how to feel about this. Whether I think that the Supernova are ready, whether I think that the crews on the Wano side of the country are ready to fight against two freaking Yonko. Is this something that you guys are happy with? I'm not sure. I'm feeling the vibe. I think it's going to be awesome, but I'm not sure if it's too early yet. These guys are meant to be the best of the best pirates, and the Supernova, although it's been there's been a time skip, we've seen what they can do. They're still essentially pirates who are up and coming. They haven't well, I suppose they do all have world renown at this point, right? So we'll see how it goes, but this is insane. I think it's going to be awesome moving forward. Didn't expect a kind of team up or a pirate alliance between Big Mom and Kaido, but that's that's the way it's turned out, and it's gonna be insane. So let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Let me know what you guys thought of this review. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in a bit.